The clatter of silverware stopped when the man pushed his chair back and stood between the billionaire and the staff. His voice didn't rise, but the entire dining room felt it when he said that some things mattered more than money, and he wasn't moving an inch until she listened. If stories about unexpected courage and quiet kindness speak to you, you might want to subscribe to Kindness. Tales, we share moments that remind us who we can be at our best. If this story moves you, tap like and tell us what you think in the comments as we go along. It started on an ordinary Wednesday evening in a mid-sized American city, the kind of place where downtown restaurants try hard to feel upscale, while still serving comfort food. The restaurant had soft lighting, polished wood tables, and a reputation for being friendly. Servers usually joked with regulars. Managers checked on tables, and everyone left feeling welcome. That night, though, there was a tension in the air that even the background music couldn't soften. The reason was seated near the center of the room, a woman in an immaculate tailored suit, her phone placed carefully beside her plate, her expression sharp and impatient. Word had spread quickly among the staff. She was a billionaire investor passing through town, known for generous tips when pleased and ruthless complaints when not. The host whispered it to the servers, who whispered it to the busser, who passed it along to the kitchen. One by one, excuses formed. Someone needed to refill drinks elsewhere. Someone else suddenly had an urgent task in the back. Plates were carried to every table except hers. A few tables away sat a man with a small girl, coloring quietly beside him. He looked tired in the way only parents juggling too much can look. His jacket was worn at the elbows, his hair slightly unkempt. A plastic dinosaur peeked out of his coat pocket. He ordered carefully, glancing at prices before choosing, and thanked the server with a sincerity that lingered. The girl swung her feet and hummed softly, content just to be there. The billionaire noticed the delays immediately. Her water glass sat empty longer than she liked. When someone finally approached, she pointed out the streak on the glass and sent it back. Her tone was clipped, dismissive. The server apologized and hurried away, cheeks flushed. From the corner of his eye, the man with the child saw the exchange and felt something twist in his chest. He had worked service jobs once. He knew that look on the server's face. As minutes passed, the avoidance grew more obvious. Plates appeared at surrounding tables, while hers remained bare. She tapped her fingers, sighed loudly, and made pointed glances around the room. Finally, she waved someone over and asked why her food was taking so long. The response was polite but vague. The staff hoped she'd leave, or at least calm down. Instead, her voice carried, sharp enough to cut through conversation. The man watched his daughter carefully shade in the dinosaur's tail. He thought about the long day they'd had, about how this dinner was meant to be a small treat after parent-teacher conferences and overtime hours. He thought about the way the server had smiled at his daughter and brought extra crayons without being asked. He felt the weight of old memories, of being snapped at when he was younger, of swallowing words to keep a job. When the billionaire snapped her fingers to get attention, something inside him settled. He gently told his daughter to keep coloring and stood up. Chairs scraped softly as nearby diners noticed. He stepped toward the table with the calm of someone who had already decided what mattered. The staff froze. The billionaire looked up, clearly irritated that a stranger had approached without permission. He spoke quietly but firmly, saying that everyone could hear her, that the people working there were human beings doing their best, and that the way she was speaking to them wasn't right. He said she had every right to expect good service, but not to treat people like they were beneath her. The room held its breath. Some diners stared at their plates. Others watched with wide eyes. She laughed at first, a short, disbelieving sound, and asked who he thought he was. He answered honestly, saying he was just a dad trying to have dinner with his kid, and someone who couldn't sit and watch anymore. He didn't insult her. He didn't threaten. He simply stood there, steady, refusing to be dismissed. For a moment, it looked like she might explode. Her face tightened and she opened her mouth, ready to unleash the kind of words that made people step back. Then something unexpected happened. She stopped. Her gaze flicked past him to his daughter, who had looked up from her coloring to watch her father. The girl's eyes were wide, not scared, just curious. The billionaire's expression shifted, almost imperceptibly. The manager rushed over, apologizing profusely, trying to de-escalate. The man stepped aside but didn't retreat. He stayed close, his presence a quiet line drawn in the space. The staff waited for the inevitable storm. Instead, the billionaire exhaled slowly. She asked for water, this time without snapping. She asked how long the food would be, and when told, she nodded. The man returned to his seat. His hands trembled slightly as he picked up his fork. His daughter leaned over and whispered that he was brave. He smiled, though his heart was still racing. Around them, conversations slowly resumed, but the energy had changed. The staff moved with a bit more confidence. The billionaire ate in silence, her phone untouched. When the meal ended, the man gathered his things, helping his daughter into her coat. As they passed the other table, the billionaire spoke again, softer now. She said she hadn't realized how she sounded, that travel days were hard, and that she didn't mean to take it out on people. It wasn't a dramatic apology, but it was real. She thanked him for saying something. He nodded, surprised, and wished her a good evening. After they left, the staff gathered around her table. She tipped generously, far more than expected, and asked the server's name, repeating it carefully. She thanked the kitchen on her way out. Word spread through the restaurant like a warm current. People smiled at each other, strangers connected by what they'd witnessed. The man and his daughter walked to their car under the glow of streetlights. She asked why he'd spoken up. He told her that being kind sometimes meant being uncomfortable, and that standing up for others mattered, even when your voice shook. She held his hand a little tighter, carrying that lesson in a way only children can. In the days that followed, the restaurant buzzed with the story. Servers stood a bit taller. The manager reminded everyone that respect was the foundation of good service, not fear. Somewhere across the country, a powerful woman carried a small but significant moment with her, a reminder that wealth didn't place her above basic decency. Kindness doesn't always look like grand gestures or viral moments. Sometimes it's a tired parent standing up in a quiet restaurant, choosing courage over comfort. The ripples from that choice can move through strangers' lives in ways we never see. It can soften hardened edges, restore dignity, and teach a child what values look like in action. As you go about your own days, remember that your voice matters, your example matters, and the smallest stand for kindness can change a room. If you've witnessed or lived a moment like this, share it with us in the comments. Your story might be the one that inspires someone else to stand firm when it counts.